레이가 지금 저 밖에 또 데리고 나왔어요. 지난번에 따라갔을 때는 이 자동차 사기 전에 카옥션, 그러니까 자동차 그 불법 주차해가지고 견인된 차량들 주인 없는 거 그거 보러 갔었거든요. Where are we going today?
Well, you know I love a good auction.
Yeah.
I found a wonderful investment opportunity, Jin. For just $35,000, you could be the owner of a condo in Minneapolis that you could turn around and sell for a minimum of $150,000. How's that sound?
It sounds good, but I think we gotta be really lucky, right?
Yeah, and you cannot see the inside before you buy it.
That's
And
so
you
risky.
cannot get an inspection either. So, you know, it's whatever risk you're willing to take.
And this
Okay.
neighborhood is kind of scary.
No, it's not. This is where the condo is considered upper class. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Okay. Are you buying a house in this area?
A
This-
condo.
This area is so fancy.
Yeah, look at these houses. Aren't they so pretty?
Yeah.
Show. Look at that one. Ooh.
이 무슨 그레이 개츠비에 나올 것 같은 그런 집들이 있어요, 이 동네. 그래서 뭐 안전할 것 같은데요. 근데 저 건물인 것 같아요, 저 건물.
See, I wouldn't lead you astray. I told you it's a good investment. Ooh, we're gonna park in this church parking lot. I'm gonna temporarily park here so I can talk more about this investment.
Why do you want to buy it when you can't even see anything inside?
Because I've seen pictures of it from 2 years ago. I don't think it can get trashed too bad in 2 years. It's a condo.
아, okay.
I don't like that it's on the first floor, but it comes with a parking spot. And the parking spot is right next to this yellow house. You wanna see some photos of the inside?
Yeah.
It's from the previous listing, not currently. This is our last known information about what it looks like on the inside.
정도면은 괜찮은데요?
These days, I think our only hope is to buy an auctioned house.
집값이 너무 많이 올라가지고 그 버는 속도에 비해서 집값이 너무 빨리 올라가요.
Do you realize what a good deal that is? Say we buy it at $35,000, okay? I've already worked out all the numbers. If we buy it at $35,000, just straight out, the HOA fee of $500 includes our parking spot, all of our bills, and all the building maintenance, okay? In our current apartment, we already pay about $500 for all of our bills, including parking. So it's no different, except if we have this house, we're no longer paying rent. It's
Yeah.
all just going straight into equity. And then we can sell it. As long as we live here for under like 5 years, everything is considered free because we can sell it for more than we spent on everything. And if you don't want to sell it, you can rent this for at least $1,500 a month. And they recently redid all of the structural stuff with this building. And they redid all the pipes and HVAC and redid the outside and the roof.
Wow. How did you get that info?
Because I dug through all the Minneapolis tax records and all the everything. Because I'm so sneaky and smart. Mhm. So, what do you say? Auction starts tomorrow.
Let's beat on it.
That could be ours. All ours.
여러분도 아시다시피 저는 미국 여자랑 결혼해서 미국에 왔잖아요. 근데 저희가 그 와이프 홈그라운드에 온 이후로 레이가 조금 돈 관리 방면에서 좀 많이 바뀌었어요. 그래서 이게 저만 그렇게 느낀 건지 아니면 이게 그 미국 여자의 종특인지 궁금해가지고 여러분들께 이걸 여쭤보려고 이 영상을 제작하게 됐어요. 그 보시는 것처럼 레이는 이게 혼자 있을 때 컴퓨터로 뭘 항상 이렇게 조사하고 있어요. 바쁘게. Ray, what are you doing?
Funny you should ask. Jin, this is the year we need to open a 401k for you, okay?
What's 401k? I heard about it.
You don't know what a 401k is?
It's like a pension, right?
Okay. You know how in Korea every single month the government takes money from your paycheck and puts it into an account for you to hopefully have one day when you retire? But most Koreans feel like maybe once they retire there's going to be no money left and then you guys are all screwed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like the government officers investing stocks with the citizens' money.
Yeah, you have like no control over where that money goes and what happens to it until you retire. In the US, we have something similar, except it's not government controlled. You choose how to invest the money. but you can't access it until you retire, of course.
Can I buy Apple and Tesla?
Of course you can.
Ooh.
But we need to get it started for you because you're in your mid-30s now, and if you don't start now, it's going to be too late and you won't be able to retire, okay? And we got to open you a high-yield savings account. Do you know what that is?
It's like 적금, Korean 적금.
Exactly. Look at this. We can start you with 4.45% interest.
Oh, that's so high in Korea. Like it's so dinky. So everyone like invest on stocks or Bitcoin. Yeah, what happened to our Bitcoin?
Well, so good news is it doubled this year, okay?
Yeah, that's great news.
Bad news is when I bought it in Korea, it was at the peak. So it went from here to here, and now it's back to here. So just don't worry about it, okay? I'll worry about that one. But for now, we're focusing on your retirement account, okay, mister?
Okay.
You may not know this about me, but I used to work in a wealth management firm, so I had to look at all of the assets for a bunch of wealthy people, so I know all about this type of thing. But Jin, you may not know that if you invest, for example, in the S&P 500, the US's top companies, you can get a pretty decent return on your investment. Look at this 1 year annual return percentage, 26.29%.
Wow.
They say on average you can expect 8%, but over the last 10 years, average has been 12%. That's so good, right?
Yeah, it's crazy high. Because I heard that many Koreans are investing on American stocks these days because it's so popular.
Well, we can't just have you investing in the US because that would be putting all of your eggs in one basket. English lesson. We also need to invest in international index funds, okay? So you can diversify a little bit. However, because you're kind of old at this point, we got to be aggressive with your investment strategy, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to do S&P 500 international index funds, and we're going to pray. Okay?
Okay.
And then later we'll change it to be a little bit less aggressive as you get older.
My head hurts.
That's why I'm here, okay? I know all about it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. You just sign where I tell you to sign, okay?
That's dangerous. That sounds so dangerous, but okay.
You can trust me. It's not like I can run away with your money. Or can I?
No. 아, 엄마가 이렇게 남이 주는 서류에 이렇게 아무데나 사인하지 말라 그랬는데 레이 믿어도 되겠죠? 저도 한국에 살 때는 저희가 이렇게 맞벌이 부부여서 돈 관리는 각자 했거든요. 각자 월급은 각자 관리하고 그때가 진짜 개꿀이었는데 사고 싶은 거 막 다 사고. 근데 저희가 미국에 와서는 제가 그 미국의 그 은행 업무, 뭐 투자, 뭐 월세 내는 법, 공과금 내는 법 이런 거 잘 모르잖아요. 그래서 그 원어민인 레이를 다 시키고 있는데 진짜 머리 아파요. 지금 레이가 매일 저한테 강의를 해요. 그 금융 강의.
I'm the best, right?
Yeah. 이게 미국 여자는 다 그런 건가요? 아니면 이게 레이가 특별한 건지 되게 알고 싶네요. 저희 집 옷장을 제가 소개시켜 드릴게요. 참고로 위에는 제 옷이고 아래는 레이 옷이에요. 레이 옷은 이게 다예요. 제 옷이 더 많을 거예요. 아마 여기서부터 저기까지. 근데 레이는 이게 다예요. 이걸로 뭐 다 하는 거예요. 여기도 있긴 한데 왼쪽은 제 옷들이고 여기 꽉 차 있어요. 근데 레이 옷은 이거 속옷이다. 이거는 운동복. 이거는 목 다 늘어난 집에서 잠잘 때 입는 옷들. 그리고 여기는 친구들. 그러니까 레이는 그 여자치고는 옷이 거의 없어요. 레이는 옷도 거의 안 사고 뭐 사봤자 완벽하지 않으면 그냥 거의 다 그냥 반품해버려요. 그래서 돈이 거의 안 드는 여자예요. 한미 엄마 옷 없어. 나와. 우리 집 고양이는 이렇게 엄마 냄새가 좋은지 엄마 옷 있는데 항상 숨어 있어요. 한미 나와. 나오세요. 한미 나오세요. 솔직히 제가 한국에서 한국 여자랑 사귈 때는 그 메이크업 파우치 보면은 막 이거보다 훨씬 크고 막 명품도 많고 그랬던 것 같은데 얘는 이게 전부예요. 알리익스프레스에서 산 메이크업 파우치에 이걸로 어떻게 이렇게 예쁜 얼굴을 관리하지?
You better sleep with one eye open tonight. Yeah, you hear the ambulance? They're ready. They're waiting for you. Okay? Sleep with one eye open tonight.
그리고 여기 신발장에 왔는데 이거 아래가 레이 신발이고 위에가 제 신발이에요. 신발도 아마 제가 더 많을 거예요. 근데 이게 적어 보이는 게 제 여름 신발들은 딴 데 보관돼 있거든요. 그리고 레이 그 초이스는 놀리지 마세요. 레이 항상 디스카운트, 그러니까 세일하는 것만 사서 이런 거예요.
Don't make fun of me. I only buy really good quality shoes. They just happen to be on sale. Like my Danners over there, I got those for 75% off and they're freaking leather with Vibram soles.
그리고 레이는 이 5만 원짜리 가방만 주구장창 메고 다녀요. 이거 한 5만 원인데 한 1000번 이상 들고 다녔을 거예요 아마. 그래서 댓글로 오죽하면은 어떤 분께서 레이는 왜 항상 똑같은 가방만 메고 다니냐. 그래가지고 저도 명품 가방 사주려고 했는데 레이가 싫다고, 자기는 로고 있는 가방 싫다고 엄청 그러더라고요. Why don't you like a luxury bag?
Many reasons. And many people will be sad if I say that I don't like luxury bags. But that bag is made of the same material as a designer bag. It looks brand new even though I've worn it every day for multiple years. And I don't like advertising luxury brands for no reason. Why do I have to spend thousands of dollars to promote a luxury brand? That's just silly. But also, I didn't grow up with money. So when I think about spending $3,000 or whatever a designer bag costs these days, all I can think about is how many groceries I could have bought or how many bills of my mom's I could have paid with that money, or there's just so much else I could do with that money. So I'm happy with my 50,000 won bag that I got on sale in Korea.
그래서 레이한테 왜 똑같은 옷만 입고 다니냐고 이렇게 악플 다시는 분들이 있는데 레이는 오히려 그걸 자랑스러워해요. So, good wife. 그리고 레이는 취미도 돈 안 드는 취미만 해요.
This is the best thing ever. Thank you for letting me get it. Look, I have a little remote. I could just stay warm and read.
이렇게 목만 내밀고 이렇게 책 보고 있어요. 취미로.
The only problem is I'm so comfy that I read 5 pages and I just...
Ray, many Koreans think that American couples have this mindset that my money is my money, your money is your money. Is it true?
A theme I often notice in our comments is Koreans are really black and white when they think about America, but I want to remind you all that America is a melting pot country and everyone here has their own cultures and customs and ways of thinking, so no two people are exactly the same, okay? I can only speak from my own experience about this topic, but I think maybe boyfriends and girlfriends might think the way that you just described. Like, if you were my boyfriend, my finances would be separate from yours. Even if we live together, we're probably gonna split the rent 50-50 and all of our bills 50-50. And you wouldn't check my bank account and I wouldn't check your bank account. But if we're married, things might change. For example, when my dad was alive, he was the sole income earner, but my mom managed all the finances. But that's not true for every family. Or like you and me, we're very open about our finances and we share bank accounts and things like that. That's normal for us and it works for us. However, what if you had a ton of debt? I probably wouldn't want to share my finances with you. I would probably keep my finances separate from you. So you can see how that's kind of a complicated topic. But I'd say probably normally couples have to share their finances somewhat. They're not going to be totally separate, you know?
Yeah, thank God I'm not that. That was scary. 어렸을 때 엄마가 돈 관리는 여자가 해야 된다고 저한테 교육을 했는데 저는 그때 좀 반대였거든요. 근데 레이는 왠지 믿을 수 있을 것 같아요.
Actually, Jin, this made me think of something.
What?
Okay, so in Korea, in a relationship, do you have to ask your partner before you spend money?
Of course.
Oh, really?
In Korea, there's a saying. I mean, all the guys in Korea, married guy, they
Okay.
always say, I need to get permission from my Minister of Finance, which is the wife. So
But like, is it for anything? So if you want to buy kimbap for lunch, do you have to get permission?
I think that's okay. I think most Korean guys who, if the wife is managing the money, they get like an allowance. So you can buy something within like 300,000 won or something. Yeah.
Like, is that your monthly allowance?
Yeah. Well,
I feel like in the US, I mean, maybe for some couples you have an allowance system, but I think mostly couples are kind of open about their finances with each other, and it's just kind of like a trust thing. Like, I'm gonna trust you to not spend crazy amounts of money, and you're gonna trust me to not spend crazy amounts of money because we're a team.
what if I buy beer?
You already buy beer without asking me. Has it ever been a problem?
No.
Yeah, because you're not dumb. You're not buying thousands of dollars of beer, right?
그래서 이게 미국 여자들을 이렇게 믿음 한해서 이렇게 용인해 주는 것 같아요. 고마워. 레이도 여자라서 인터넷으로 쇼핑을 가끔 하긴 하는데 보시는 것처럼 물건이 완벽하지 않으면 웬만하면 이렇게 환불을 하더라고요. 그래서 실제로 이렇게 지출은 거의 없어요, 쇼핑에.
Hello.
Now where are we going?
To my favorite grocery store,
Where?
Costco, to get discounted gas and cheap produce.
Yeah.
And because I just returned this $30 product, I basically earned $30, right?
It doesn't work that way.
I know,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
가자.
가자.
진짜 미국에서는 진짜 그 월마트, 타겟 다 너무 비싸져가지고 코스트코 하나 남았어요, 싼데. And also, Ray's not letting me drive because my fuel mileage is bad.
Yeah, somehow he gets like 15 miles per gallon when he drives.
No, it's now about 19. But when you drive, it's like 21, 22.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting at 23 miles per gallon. I don't know what you're talking about.
아, 진짜. 레이는 항상 기름은 코스트코에서 넣으라 그래요. 이게 기름이 여기가 10% 정도 싸거든요. 그래서 저희는 기름 무조건 여기서 넣어요. 그리고 레이가 이 코스트코 카드를 만들어서 가지고 기름값이 아마 한 4% 여기 써있네. 4% 추가 할인을 받거든요. 아직 한 15% 정도 할인되지 않을까 총 제 생각이 들어요. 미국도 기름값이 많이 내려갔네요. 1갤런에 2.669. 최근에 2.5불까지 내려갔더라고요.
Nope. We don't need a computer monitor. And we don't need a speaker. Oh, no, and we don't need that either. Nope, we don't need that.
What happened?
I've been patiently looking at this auction for the last day and a half, and only one other person placed a bid. So I really thought, oh, maybe this condo could actually be ours. And then when I refreshed the page, the auction canceled.
That's so unfair. I think the bank wanted like at least like 100K or something.
So cruel. They shattered my hopes and dreams. Now I gotta search for auctioned homes again.
At least you're happy for a few days.
It's like the lottery.
행운을 빌어주세요. Let's get a house soon.
I think, the best way to buy a house is if we cancel your beer allowance.